Hello, you are watching Focus of the Week. This is a weekly talk show of Newscafe and Radio Jipa. Today we will discuss documentary film life in Georgia, and our guests are Anna Diapshipa, SACDoc film producer, and Nino Sharvashidze from National Film Center. Hello. My first question is about chances. If you are a young, talented Georgian filmmaker, how you can realize your ideas in Georgia? Is it possible?
In documentary film?
Yeah, in documentary film.
Yes, of course, it's always possible to realize your ideas if you're passionate enough to bring your ideas to the people or something. And I think there are quite more possibilities than it was, for example, 5 years ago for documentary filmmakers to find approximate budget resources for their films or to develop their projects. And yeah, there are many possibilities nowadays.
Your opinion?
Yes, the Georgian National Film Center is one of the main priorities also is documentary film. So we usually, every year we announce the competition for the documentary films, especially short ones and also long ones, sorry. And we also, but at this point, unfortunately, for the feature films, we have also co-production. But unfortunately, we're unable at this period of time to have co-production also for the documentaries. So basically, they're all local.
Okay, let's turn to history, but concentrate on last years. What was golden era of Georgian documentary filmmakers, and what about last years? I mean, after independence. Can you introduce and speak about history?
Yes, of course. I would say that everybody heard a lot about the Georgian cinema, and it's very interesting, important. But as we speak about the documentary films, I would say that there is no real kind of a documentary filmmaker tradition in Georgia. So it just started after the independence. Just actually several years ago, it started that people are getting interested in documentary films. But if we turn to the past, there are not so many examples of documentary films. I mean, the real documentary film, the creative documentary or outdoor documentary film. Of course, we have lots of ethnographic or portraits or TV films, but as we speak about the creative and outdoor documentary films, there is not such a big tradition in Georgia, unfortunately. But now, for about past 5 years or more, it's really started to develop, and a lot of young people are going in documentary films, and they perceive documentary film as an art form, so it's very important.
Yes, I agree.
I want you to introduce your organizations, SACDoc and National Film Center. What you do for developing this area?
Well, National Film Center is a governmental organization, so we are mainly funded by the Ministry of Culture, and no, for the documentary films, what we've been doing, yes? The question was how we are supporting
what is your strategy? I mean,
at this point, our goal is to encourage people to shoot more documentary films by also announcing the competitions as well. So also also with this Anna, because they're doing the SACDoc film, is also doing feature docs. She's gonna talk about it later. So they've been also helping them in that way for pitching and for this. And we've been also announcing a lot of competitions, which I already mentioned. So our strategy at this point is to get more finance for them, based on these competitions, because we can't give otherwise, and the other one is helping doing a lot of new festivals, and also letting them to have contacts with this funds, the international funds, who can also contribute to the documentary films in Georgia. So basically that's what we do.
What about SACDoc?
SACDoc Film is one of the biggest documentary film companies in Georgia, so to say. It was founded in 2010, and initially we started production of the documentary films, and the first film we produced is a long is 1 hour documentary film by Salome Jashi-Bachmaro, which gained European financing.
Which is best example.
Well, it was. I would say it was an encouragement for lots of Georgian filmmakers
Yes.
to go into the and make documentary film. So it was a motivation. So it's very important in for several reasons, as it was the first documentary film in Georgia which was made with co-production involving lots of European broadcasters, and among them Arte, for example. And on the other hand, it was very important, as I said, motivator for the young people to make documentaries. And besides this production, we are also doing the development of a sphere somehow. We are developing documentary film industry in Georgia, and when we are organizing different platforms for not only local but South Caucasian documentary filmmakers. And I would also go to the film center. That film center already 5 years financing the Pitch Doc, which is the main forum for documentary filmmakers, and it's held in frames of Tbilisi International Film Festival annually for 5 years now. And the main prizes for the Pitch Doc is established by National Film Center. And besides that, SACDOC is implementing 2 years program which is called CaucaDoc, which involves also South Caucasian filmmakers, and the program is aimed to develop the documentary films in Georgia and in the neighboring countries as well. And we have different aspects of this program. Is we have a long-term project development course, which is 3 steps, 3 stages for documentary project development, and then we invite international tutors, and they have 1 week approximately tutoring workshops, and they discuss different issues concerning their projects, and etc. And the other thing that we have, the component that we have, is a roundtables that concerns not only documentary film but general cultural policy as well concerning the film. And also we have the master classes, and we held about 6 master classes during this 2 years program that we're implementing, and the last one was in frames from the Tbilisi Film Festival, and it was held by Uldis Šekulis, which is Latvian filmmaker and producer. And what else? Also, we are implementing now this new project, which is a new one, really, and it's called the CaucaDoc Online, which is the online catalog for documentary films. It will be a database for documentary films, and any interested person who produced the documentary films for past 5 years, they can upload their project, not only films but also projects, and the online version could be available for any interested persons from around the world. And also it will have iOS and Android applications, so anyone interested in South Caucasian documentary films, they can look through this website. And I would encourage also the JIPA students and every documentary filmmaker in Georgia to apply with their films on this CaucaDoc online catalog, and the website is caucadoconline.com. And the website is in process of development, so it will be ready by the end of January, but still you can apply with your film already. And I think it was all for the SACDOC film. And yes, CaucaDoc, we are continuing. We start continuing this project, and we hope the next year we will have again this project development course.
So many projects, and what about financing?
Oh yes, the financing approximately Georgia National Film Center now has 114,000 euros for the documentary film, funding documentary films. So we do it by the.
Are resources enough for making films?
I mean,
in Georgia.
Of course, I can't say that this is enough for Georgia, but we are also one of the main bodies who gives funds. So our budget is not that big itself. So basically, we do also the co-production, feature film, documentaries, animation now, short films, and so. And
you also fund different events as well.
Tbilisi International Film Festival. This year we had first international CineDoc. Documentary Film Festival, which was also quite successful because they had 10 projects. So also a lot of experts arrived. So they had the pitching sessions as well. So it's been quite pushed forward as well. So hopefully next year are going to be more and more events coming from this documentary side.
Can you compare this area with neighboring countries? I mean, Armenia and Azerbaijan, if you have this experience.
I have experience working with the Armenia and Azerbaijan, and we have the local partners there who are implementing the project Kaukadok together with us. It's the Media Initiative Center in Armenia, and there is Alina Abdullaeva who is working individually from Azerbaijan. And what I can say, I'm not very much informed about the system, how it works with the financing there, but as far as I know, they have less financing possibilities than we have here in Georgia, and also, but we receive quite a lot of projects from these both countries, and they develop the projects in Georgia. So I think went quite successfully. And well, actually, the project, for example, for us from Azerbaijan, which was developed in frames of the Kaukadok, it was called Holy Cow. It got the German and Romanian co-producers, so it's being already finished. So I think it's very important that some of the films from the last years are already finished, and we have a possibility to see them soon, hopefully.
Okay, and what are main problems in this field? I mean, documentary film producing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think main thing is the financing, of course, and I think the also financing and education problem, and I think the Kaukadok is a good opportunity for the local filmmaker to develop their projects and to get deep into the industry somehow, and to see the challenges and opportunities there somehow. So, and also financing, of course, and I would say that if project would not go internationally, they would not have a chance to get the financing, and so I think it's very important for projects to get somehow more international co-productions or go to international markets.
For example, you got this financing, you had film, and what after? How you can present your film, not only in Georgia but outside?
We do a lot of retrospectives in this film. Also, Bakhmara has been traveling all around the world, so it's been a lot of won a lot of festivals as well at the same time. So we do this promotion during the festivals we attend, for example, Berlinale, Cannes, or any other Locarno and so on. And we also have this package where we involve every film, so the successful ones mainly, and a lot of them are financed by GNFC. So basically, this is how we try to support these films, and apart from that, we hope that next year a lot of other funds will be also involved in to push this documentary films forward again.
I know that this is art, but how easy to sell this product like film?
That's the real problem, and I would also mention that it's very important that the main challenge that we have now as documentary filmmakers is the problem that we have with national broadcast. Our national broadcaster should be involved in documentary film production, and they are not, and that's the main problem, I mean, for us, and the main challenge to overcome this, and somehow to find the legislative and some other ways to involve them in film production or acquisitions as well, which is not the case very often.
Yeah. And what's your opinion?
Yeah, I totally agree with her. So, and also I would say this same problem is also with this animation as well, and a lot of films Georgian films are not that quite popular on TV, but actually Bakhmara was in cinema halls.
No, it was not. It was just presented for the one time.
Okay, so basically that's
that. What about transmedia documentary projects?
Yes, it's very popular now.
Do you have it's popular in Georgia, or?
I think it's getting popular in Georgia because, for example, last year we had one transmedia project from Georgia, which is called Pirimze, and which is being finished. It's the visual artist Sofia Dapadadze who is working on this project, and it's not only documentary film. It will involve some different transmedia and other multimedia platforms. So we also developed the transmedia projects here in Georgia and in frames Kaukadok as well, and I think it's a future of documentary films in a way. So
yeah, there are many festivals, and what about future? What we can see?
Well, we keep funding the main one the Tbilisi International Film Festival, which is one of the biggest ones. Also, Batumi Film Festival is being sponsored by us, and this new one emerged now is Cinedoc Festival. This Newscafe Foundation who is doing that festival. So it has been also quite interesting for the documentary filmmakers. But also I wanted to mention about this international organizations. Because this is the first time I guess we're doing with this UN Women documentary project about violence against women. So this is the first one we're doing this year, and the competition is going to be announced soon. So it's a big, also quite interesting project for the Georgian documentary filmmakers to get involved in this, because it's really big budget for the documentary films. And also they have trainings as well at the same time, so there'd be also a lot of information about the situation in Georgia. So I guess it's the kind of a new way of shooting for, I don't know, but it can be quite interesting as well.
It's interesting for you to know what's your opinion about documentary film making. What is documentary for you? Are there some rules, or you can make whatever you want, or?
I don't think there are some rules, but as for me, actually it's very important in documentary films is the angle of author, and it's the main thing that I like to see in documentary films.
How it presents his or her own reality about the specific issue. So, and also it's a real thing. It's not like feature film where you see a lot of decorations and it's totally real. So that's really quite good to watch.
What are most important films, new ideas that we have during last years? Films, we mentioned Bakhmaro, and what?
Also there was the Georgian's The Machine That Makes Everything Disappear, which was very popular and traveled a lot.
It won Sundance Film Festival, and again it's winning now a lot of festivals as well. So I would say that one is probably one of the successful films and documentaries that traveled internationally.
I would also say it's very interesting also the English teacher by Georgian Arsenishvili, and it's also an example of very interesting new documentary films for me. And there are the projects that were developed in terms of the Caucasus. I would also mention that there are several very interesting projects that are being already finished. One of them is, as I mentioned, the Pirimza, which is also in the post-production process already, and the Biblioteca, which is by Anna Tsemintia, which seems very promising as well, so we hope to see it soon.
And are there interest among young people?
Yes, I would say definitely yes.
In participating, shooting mainly, but also as audience?
Yes, it's the Tbilisi International Film Festival that was held several weeks ago now. It was really full theaters with lots of people and young people, and they were sitting on the stairs, and it was really you could see that people are really interested to see, especially on local films. Local films were really booked. And,
fully booked.
Yes, and it's very important that the people are really interested to see new production from Georgia.
Yeah.
What you can recommend young people if they want to have some success in this field in countries like Armenia, Georgia, or Azerbaijan?
I think it's vital to entry on some training program for young documentary filmmakers, as it is a very important substitute for the educational system that doesn't exist in film in general. And I would recommend every young people to enter in one of these long-term training courses, which, locally or internationally, because I think it's a very important way to bring out your documentary film project.
They should work harder, because now they have more opportunities than they used to have. So it's up to them. I think they should work really hard to do everything, because it needs a lot of time as well. So if they're really interested, they should start doing it right now.
Okay, is there any question that I didn't ask, but you want really to speak about it, main?
No, I think it was
It
all
was
said.
Okay, thank you. It was Focus of the Week. Today we discussed documentary film Live with